All right, am I live now? Oh my gosh, come on. All right, does it have me live here? I can't tell. Okay, I think we're back. What a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. All right, let's go.
These new flavor complexes that we've discovered in Diet Coke and put them in Coca-Cola. Well, they did that and they came up with a new formula that was codenamed Kansas. And in that sense, you know, it's too bad that Mr. Woodruff, the patron of Coca-Cola, who recently passed away, that he isn't here to enjoy this moment.
90% of Coca-Cola's own.
What a like unbelievably creepy video. Like what a weird guy. I know they probably wanted to use like an actual executive or whatever, but what a weirdo. He reminds me of that JD Costello guy, the manager from Memphis.
Own employees have never seen the boss. In his 90 years, he has never granted an interview to a newsman. People say they don't make things like they used to. Well, they don't make people like Robert W. Woodruff anymore either.
Robert Winship Woodruff was Coca-Cola's original Nepo baby. His father, Ernest, had bought out the Coca-Cola company from founder Asa Griggs Candler in 1919 and reportedly installed Robert as president in 1926 as a means to quell some family drama. Under Woodruff's leadership, the company expanded globally, and he remained on the board of directors until 1984, when he stepped down due to health reasons.
He was involved in this project from the very start.
Goizueta claimed Woodruff gave New Coke his approval after sampling the new formula. Sources close to Woodruff allege he was misled as to what was being proposed and was unaware of Goizueta's intentions. At any rate, a few days after trying New Coke, Robert Winship Woodruff died.
Conscientiously improved.
Wait, what? Right after he tried New Coke, he died? What? 2641. I don't want to go back too far.
Close to Woodruff allege he was misled as...
Hey, Daninsky, how's it going? I'm smoking Gas Nana. Which last time I smoked Gas Nana, I got super fucked up. It's only 16% THC, which I know that doesn't affect, like, the strength of the high as much as people think, but it really crept up on me during the Intoxicated Women stream.
As to what was being proposed and was unaware of Goizueta's intentions. At any rate, a few days after trying New Coke, Robert Winship Woodruff died.
Conscientiously improved. Kansas. Let's do it.
I forgot to
A
listen.
month later, on Goizueta's intentions. At any rate, a few days after trying New Coke, Robert Winship Woodruff died.
Okay, so a few days after he tried New Coke, he died.
Conscientiously improved. Kansas. Let's do it.
A month later, on April 23, 1985, Roberto Goizueta and Donald Keogh unveiled New Coke.
The Coca-Cola Company pulled out all the stops.
So I am actually old enough, at least it doesn't kill you. I'm old enough to have tried New Coke, and to me at the time, it just tasted like a generic soda. Like, I don't know any other way to put it. Like, I would have thought it was Big K or, you know, just a store brand soda. It just tasted like, if you could picture like the most stereotypical basic soda flavor, like of candy, that's kind of what it tasted like. Just mid soda.
In making its announcement, the normally staid and cultural environment of New York's Lincoln Center was turned into a taste fest for the new Coke.
A great new taste, now it's opening night, a colossal event.
Dude, again, this is Hollyweird Babylon. What a great video. The footage this guy tracked down is amazing. You want to try new Coke for the meme? I bet there's still people that like have bottles of it and shit. That sounds like something YouTubers would get into. Or I made like Crystal Pepsi too, probably.
When we finally announced it, we got a standing ovation.
Yeah, I remember Crystal Pepsi. I didn't mind Crystal Pepsi. I thought it was kind of cool.
And we thought victory was at hand.
I thought it was really cool to make ice cubes out of it because they just looked like regular water, kind of.
It's a hit, it's a Coke. Coke is it.
I'm going to get right to the point. The best soft drink, Coca.
Incorporating food and drink reviews on the channel. I mean, I don't even know what I would say about it. Like, I wouldn't know really how to go into any kind of depth on it. I could do weed reviews. Especially now since I'm demonetized, I could do weed reviews.
Coca-Cola is now going to be even better. Simply stated, we have a new formula for Coke. A new taste for Coke, destined to refresh tomorrow's world.
What a shit speaker. Sit down. No, don't clap. Cut the clapping.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Well, we simply believe that this is the biggest news about Coca-Cola and the best news about Coca-Cola that we've ever announced or ever will announce. Consumers preferred the new taste over the original by a margin of 61 to 39.
What do I think the best show is from the 80s? Like my personal favorite show? Oh, gosh. From the 80s? I like so many of them, like Growing Pains. Perfect Strangers. Remember that one? Can I teach Lalo how to do a bong rip without killing himself? I don't know. I just my brain completely like erased for like 2 seconds just now, so maybe I shouldn't be given that lesson. There's so many like funny shows from the 80s. Family Ties. A bunch from the 90s too, though. And then I get a lot of them confused. Like, I think some of them started in the 80s but went to the 90s. Like Full House maybe was like that.
All right. Statistically valid to a factor of over 99%.
Yeah, Married with Children was a great one. There's so many good ones.
So as Roberto indicated,
I remember, like, was it Thursdays on Fox where they'd have Married with Children and then like a couple other kind of like adult type comedies, and then Fridays on ABC was like the TGIF, which was like the most epic sitcom block ever.
the decision was made by the consumers themselves. Consumers have selected a new taste for Coke as we enter our centennial year.
Lalo doesn't like me. He's constantly trying to undermine me to Grace and to chat, like constantly. He tried to say the other day that Wings of Redemption and I weigh the same, or that like we look alike or something like that. He's just always like negging me to Grace.
Year. Coca-Cola with that new taste is...
He was like, oh yeah, I watched Mark's reaction video to so-and-so, if you could even call that a reaction.
...is going to roll all around the world.
I would say is smoother.
Waldo Faldo, yeah. I liked Full House. What else was on that block with Full House? It was like, for a while there was Perfect Strangers, Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step. Was that the main four? I think that was the main four, but I think some other ones rotated into it like later on.
Rounder.
Oh, for sure I remember Perfect Strangers. I've actually been watching that whole series. I'm going to do a review for my movie review list. But I've been watching all of them, but I can't find seasons 7 and 8, so I had to like order them from an out-of-state library. Yeah, well, I was going to say Waldo Faldo was like the neighbor on Family Matters.
Yet,
remember that weird guy that lived in the van on Step by Step? He like lived in their driveway. He was like one of the, he should have done IRL content. OPC Don should have got a hold of him. And then that actor made all these like insanely terrible but also like super fun kung fu movies in the 90s.
Yet bolder is a more harmonious flavor.
You're a pretty good copywriter, Roberto.
I mean, are you 100% certain that this won't bomb, this new form?
Like, if you really want to see them, Ed, I don't know if you've got a DVD player, but I just ordered them from the public library.
Formula?
As I said, I think this is the surest move ever because the consumer made it. We didn't.
And we think there's going to be enormous trial as we roll out this product, and we've got such confidence in the product, we know we've got a winner.
To what extent are you introducing this product to meet the Pepsi challenge?
He was Eddie's friend? Yeah, okay. So he was Eddie's friend and Urkel was the neighbor. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, no. I mean, that's Pepsi Challenge. When did that happen?
Okay, here's an 80s show. This is one that I'm watching also. I'm watching, like, going back and revisiting all the seasons so I can do, like, a comprehensive review video. But do you remember a show called Small Wonder where this, like, stereotypical suburban sitcom family, the dad secretly crafted a perfectly humanly, like, passing as human cyborg child and then brought it home to work as like a maid for the family? Like, that's an 80s show that maybe doesn't have as much profile as it used to, but that's a crazy concept to me. Remember the weird guy that lived in the van with his daughter? Yeah, neighbor Ben. Or I call him, on Thorpe Alert, I call him Father Ben.
That's okay for number 2 always.
Are you saying that the Pepsi Cola
Man, this was pretty nice of Littlefinger from Game of Thrones to come by and be part of this press conference.
has no more to do with this than Heinz baked beans or Hershey's Kisses?
Well, I don't know. You can handle the English better than I can, so I'm not going to get into that argument with you, but I would say that the consumer had everything to do with this.
But the initial response from the public quickly wiped the shit-eating grins off their faces.
Most Coke drinkers look for the crisp and refreshing taste of Coke. If we want a Pepsi, we'd buy Pepsi.
Well, there, honey, ma'am, I can tell you that what you're going to get when you try this new product is Coca-Cola even better.
It's not even close to Pepsi.
It's not close to anything you've ever had.
Not at all. Not at all.
Except a Coke.
Not at all.
I watched an episode of Small Wonder the other day that the issue, the conflict in the episode was that they had taught the cyborg child how to make burritos, but it was too efficient, and so it made like too many burritos, and so it was like, how do we get rid of all these burritos? Was essentially like that was the issue in the episode.
There wasn't much electricity in the air.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to invite you to the lobby to try the new taste of Coca-Cola.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Vicky. Yeah, Vicky Lawson. Yep, you got a good memory. That's kind of a little hidden to me. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it.
My first customer here. You got it. Okay.
You could absolutely, though, make a sitcom about the Thorpes and make it fucking hilarious and depressing, and like it'd be like a David Lynch comedy, but they absolutely have a sitcom quality to them, in my opinion. Especially since they wear the same clothes all the time. You get that like how in The Simpsons, Homer always has his, like, he's got his signature look. Like, they have their signature looks for, like, a week or two at a time.
Who else needs a Coke?
Enjoy. Hello, young man. You ready for a Coke? Have a Coke.
Look at this guy. How pathetic. They got the CEO out here handing out Coke cups.
I love this work.
Well, the real thing is in for a real change these days. Coca-Cola is altering its 99-year-old secret recipe. But if things have been going better with Coke all along, why tamper with success?
From the orderliness and elegance of Coca-Cola's news conference was this grassroots rally,
Sheila Steinbach,
if you will, of its chief opponent. The Pepsi people say they organized this demonstration to celebrate Coke's changes. Free Pepsi was the order of the day, just a few blocks away from the Coca-Cola announcement.
I think Coke's announcement today is a concession.
Wow, look at this Coke head. What an absolute cokehead.
And a victory to us.
Ken Ross, Pepsi spokesman, you a cokehead for sure.
I think most people know.
Yes, every episode ends with Ben getting arrested, but then the very next episode, everything's back to normal and nobody understands what the hell's going on in the legal system. Everybody's like always convinced like that Ben's, countdown to jail has started, but at the beginning of each new episode, it's like magical. Like, oh, well, glad all that worked out.
That when something is right, you don't change it. We're not changing it, they are.
And so happy is Pepsi over the Coke change. The company's giving its employees the day off this Friday. And I don't think, Brad, we've heard...
Well, I don't want to say we're comfortable with our lead over Coke, but we're giving everybody the day off. Now, that's the kind of shit you want to see.
The end of this.
I guess not. Yeah, you tasted it. What did it taste like to you? Any different?
I'm not really a cola drinker. One thing I can tell the difference between is Coke and Pepsi. Coke is closer to Pepsi.
It's like in Family Guy when they die in an episode. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, there's no continuity other than, like, thematically.
Right now, it is sweeter, just like Pepsi.
You're going to try to out-Pepsi, huh?
Look.
Like Lalo is put in the most uncomfortable, embarrassing, humiliating, emasculating situations over and over again. But the next episode, he's bright and chipper and ready to go. Like, everybody's on that loop.
It's like it.
The new Coke backlash has gone on to become a case study in mass psychology and the phenomenon of expectation bias.
I can't tell the difference between the new taste of Coke and the old taste of Pepsi.
Why are you upset about it?
Because I'm 46 years old and I bought my first Coke with a nickel when I was 5 years old.
Okay, Karen. I bought a Coke for a nickel when I was in 1946.
I helped build this multinational corporation.
Oh, you didn't help build shit. Get out of here, lady. What's this lady talking about? I built this. I helped build this company with my own two hands.
My oldest daughter.
You bought a fucking product, bitch. That's it.
Is 22.
Sit down.
Her first word was Coke. Her second word was Mommy.
A 57-year-old Seattleite named Gary Mullins spent $30,000 on a protest campaign he called Old Cola Drinkers of America that included a hotline. 35-year-old Libby Levine.
Her name was Libby Levine.
35-year-old...
I'm upset because I'm 46 years old and I purchased a drink. Come on. I can't believe that lady's the same age as me.
Libby Levine of Huntington Woods, Michigan, came to be dubbed in the media as the
well, she's a year older than me.
Coca-Cola groupie after making national news for going to absurd lengths to track
ring rats, Coca-Cola groupies. Where does it end?
Down remaining backstock of old Coke.
If I heard that 30 miles away a store had some old Coke, I'd be right there buying it.
Please don't. Oh my God. Oh, these people. What? They're starting an underground network to circulate the old Coke around. This is outrageous to me.
Change the taste of Coke.
Okay, they're putting on demonstrations. They're putting on protests. This is really wild. Like, imagine if people had done that when they changed Sierra Mist over to, what's the name of it now? Sparkle or something like that. Like, imagine if people took to the streets and were, like, with signs and, like, having T-shirts made and writing songs about it.
Why do you want to fix it? It ain't broke.
You didn't like the new formula?
I've never tried it, but I didn't want to. Did I?
What a liar. She just got caught in, well, I'm in 480p and I think they're in even lower than that, but he loved calling her out live on in the interview.
Oh, I did. That's right, and I threw it out the window of the car.
Because we don't like it.
Because we don't like it.
Fidel Castro took the opportunity to take a shot at the failure.
Oh shit, Castro weighing in. Dude, this guy is great. Hollywood Babylon is so good. He even got the Castro clip.
New Coke, calling it a sign of American capitalist decadence.
Yeah, Starry. Imagine if people took to the streets and they were like throwing Starry through windows and shit.
It ends. A humiliated Roberto Goizueta tried to save face by spinning the fiasco as an opportunity.
A gentleman in Wisconsin who wrote a letter, kind of protesting about the.
Hey, Laughing Cedar. Yeah, I actually don't know how long it never told me. It told me that I came back online and then I never went back offline. But for some reason the stream ended, so I had to start over again. When you start over again, I forgot I had to, because it's OBS, I had to put a thumbnail in and type in all the shit. I can't just one button press go live since it already burned my like scheduled stream.
Formula change. And then he said, I would appreciate it very much if you signed this letter at the bottom and return it to me, because in years to come.
He put an embargo out on all Grimace-related products after that.
The signature of the dumbest executive in American history is going to be worth a fortune. So I did sign at the bottom and send it to him. So it was humbling in that sense, and it was exhilarating in the sense that we realized we had some.
Okay, so maybe kind of I don't think it quite got to that level, but I guess we have to look at it like when New Coke came out, people didn't have the internet. But like, remember when that Sonic movie came out and people hated the design and they basically protested and all that shit, but they did it all online? Like, they were able to mount enough pressure to exert a change that big. So I guess it is still definitely possible, but it's pretty rare. You have to really get a large group of people together that are like really passionate about it.
Something in our hands, a treasure that we had never valued as it should have been valued.
But his refusal to take ownership of his mistakes would draw criticism from his predecessor and ultimately diminish his legacy.
I think it's best for us to go back the full 11
Oh boy, look at this fucking guy. Man.
11 weeks to when on April the 23rd, we made the announcement about New Coke. What's happened?
This is another internal video to the bottlers. Coca-Cola USA president Brandon Dyson, July 10th, 1985. What a weird, this guy's so weird.
In those 11 weeks. Well, I think most of you know that it has been looked upon as the most incredible marketing news in history. In that 11-week period, we have learned some things. We have learned that there were thousands of consumers that, even though they may have liked the idea and the taste of New Coca-Cola.
That's what I was saying. I think right when I restarted the stream, he had an interview, and I was like, that guy looks just like J.D. Costello.
Coca-Cola. No. We want to have that product available. We want to have that choice. And not having that can cause us some negative reactions. You need to establish a clear difference so that consumers will not confuse Coca-Cola Classic made from the original formula.
Now, I do remember that too. I remember when Coke Classic came out, my family was like overjoyed because nobody liked New Coke and nobody liked Pepsi. Well, the people buying didn't.
With Coca-Cola, which was the product.
Conspiracy theory says that the switch to New Coke was an excuse to change from using sugar to high fructose corn syrup. I can completely believe that. I mean, it's a way to where you're setting yourself up for success in that way, because people are telling you like, we want the old thing back, so you give it to them, but you change that one thing, and then they're probably not, they don't have the energy, right? People are not can only go to bat so many times. So are they really going to have a big mass push again right after that? Probably not. So if that conspiracy theory is true, I think that was really good, like, strategic thinking from the people at Coke.
That we began introducing on April 23rd. Why do you think that other people are saying what we think we know? Well, the major reason is that you have this product, Coca-Cola, which is the best tasting product we know how to make, with the strength of the Coke trademark and with all the heritage through the years. Yes. This is truly our premier brand. But in addition to that, we are also now offering Coca-Cola Classic for those who want the original taste.
Within 3 months, Coca-Cola would revert back.
Dude, he is creepy. Like, it's just, he makes my skin crawl. His delivery, he's so slow. Why didn't they get somebody that, why didn't they get like, Dom DeLuise to read that or something? Somebody that could have put a little zip on it.
Back to what was said to be the original
Why didn't they get Cosby to do it?
formula. Though in reality, Coca-Cola Classic was now sweetened with the cheaper high-fructose corn syrup.
Coca-Cola Classic.
Oh, there you go, Daninsky. They're talking about it.
That announcement in no way changes our total commitment to this product. The best tasting product that we have.
Well, pretty soon we're going to get a video from this guy saying, Coca-Cola Classic is our best tasting product. We're running with that now. We've heard like this guy just changes. I know you guys probably weren't in here because it happened right at the beginning of the start of the new stream, but he was basically saying that they were going to stand by their Coke flavor even though they were losing ground. And then now he's like, oh no, now it's new Coke is the best. And now he's like kind of half backtracking. Pretty soon we're going to get the full backtrack.
Ever made, the one that is going to carry us for at least the next 99 years, and which is going to receive our primary attention and efforts.
Looking to integrate their movie studio further into the Coca-Cola fold.
Primary attention and efforts.
Okay, so 1990, New Coke becomes Coke 2. And then in 2002, Coke is discontinued. So New Coke, I guess in the form of Coke 2, like basically was around a lot longer than I thought. I didn't remember it being around in the early 2000s. So it lasted longer than I thought.
Looking to integrate their movie studio further into the Coca-Cola fold, Donald Keough stepped in as chairman of Columbia Pictures. Due to escalating conflict in the Middle East, Coca-Cola...
I love that he's taking such a scenic, like, lore-rich way of getting there, but, like, I know where we're going. We're on, like, the Bill Cosby, and the Bill Cosby, Coke, and movies are all coming to, like, a head. But, like, I really like the way that he's taken us on this, like, long, scenic journey to get there.
Had several $1 million tied up in Morocco that they were
I remember it, but in my mind, it was there and gone. So, but I didn't live in, like, maybe if you lived in a big city, they still had it for a while.
Able to repatriate. Keough's solution was to use up the funds by filming on location there. Despite the forced optimism around the Columbia lot over the script, Keough saw their latest effort in development as a vanity project for Warren Beatty, as a favor to friend and comedian.
Okay, so when I was a kid and Ishtar came out, when you talked about bad movies, right, it was Ishtar. When you talked about like career-killing movies, big studio flops, like Ishtar was the movie people talked about as far as like being just a loser movie.
Elaine May to direct. Ishtar was greenlit mainly to get in Beatty's good graces. The studio played to May's pretentiousness, convincing her that shooting in Morocco would give her adventure comedy realism.
My inspiration to do Ishtar was that those movies with Hope and Cosby never had any American politics in, even though we owned all these little islands that they went to. And I knew that America was going into the Middle East. I mean, a few people knew it. The CIA was all over, and that they'd never get out of it. And so I thought of Ishtar.
From Columbia's perspective, burning monies on a flop was worth more to them come tax season than leaving it sitting overseas. Plus, Delphi 5 still had some cash left in the kitty. But Elaine May was able to blow through all of it and then some, blowing through celluloid by the boatload with grotesquely indulgent reshoots tallying up to the hundreds as she tied up production for weeks on end until a patch of desert sand was leveled to her satisfaction. The failure of Ishtar was so uniquely epic that the title has become a shorthand for films that go wildly over budget, only to bomb spectacularly at the box office. Ishtar lost $35.6 million.
Like, if you're a little bit older, like if you're a Gen X or a millennial, a good way to put it would be how people thought about Waterworld at the time, where the budget just kept getting bigger and the movie ended up, not being being a box office complete failure, but like kind of like on the Waterworld level, but even more, like even worse than that, like a worse Waterworld.
Roughly equivalent to $100 million in 2024.
No, I promise I didn't pre-watch it.
And Elaine May was blacklisted by the film industry.
It was an oddly easy movie to make.
I'm just a nerd, Joe. That's all I do. I just consume art and media. That's what I like to do.
In spite of their best efforts to divert lesser projects to TriStar and hedge their bets with Delphi program, Columbia Pictures' Renaissance era was shaping up to be more of a false start. They needed a hit, and they needed it bad.
Hi, Phil Foreman here for Coke. Everyone's into something, and I'm into fours. I got 4 kids, 4 goldfish, 4 watches. And now Coca-Cola's done something for me. Coke in the new 4-liter bottle. They call it Super Thirst Buster.
Whoa. 4 liter? A 4 liter? No way.
Coca-Cola, meanwhile, were on the ropes. Pepsi had faked them out, and now they were scrambling to rebuild their brand identity. They celebrated their 100-year anniversary with a back-to-basics revamp that laid the nostalgia on thick in hopes of papering over the new Coke ordeal.
Bill, you're delightful. So is your new album. I've got it right down here.
Oh my gosh. What was that puppet's name? Dame something?
Let's see, what is it? Bill Cosby himself.
Yes.
If it ain't...
If you watched a lot of 70s and 80s game shows, they would always have whoever this performer was had a bunch of like little puppets in the troupe, and they would guest star on those game shows from time to time.
Who is it?
Well, it depends on who's in the room. Madam, I want to thank you for doing that.
I just feel like the appeal to me of a 2-liter is like portability and convenience. A 4-liter is like kind of wieldy, right? Like, I think if you're getting a 4-liter, why wouldn't you just get it? Madam, yeah, okay. I was thinking it was like Dame something, but yeah, Madam. Like a 4-liter just seems like at that point, why not just get a 12-pack?
But I feel a little silly. I didn't come here tonight to push my album.
Oh, well, It's almost as silly as selling Coca-Cola computers and Jell-O, isn't it?
You know where the low blow goes, don't you? Well, anyway.
Man, if we have Madam giving a story about how she met Bill Cosby in a hotel room and he gave her a red pill, I'm going to lose all faith in humanity.
That would be silly, wouldn't it? Not with Jell-O.
Oh, my goodness. Now, that would be silly. Yes, indeed.
Yes, Dame Edna. But Dame Edna is British, right? I think.
On top of the damage to their reputation, thanks to New Coke, Coca-Cola lost the public face of their company for the last 6 years. As they floundered, Bill Cosby was flourishing with a massive resurgence in...
I do think it would be funny, though, if you wanted to be mean to a kid, you could get the 4-liter and then watch them, like, struggle to pour it.
His career.
Bill Cosby is the kind of guy who would turn that into content, in my opinion.
It's not a dessert. It's not a soft drink. And it's not a computer. It's the all-new, all-star comedy spectacular.
A 1981 stand-up performance at Hamilton Place in Hamilton, Ontario, was filmed and released 2 years later. Bill Cosby himself was a success as a concert film, home video, and an album. And Cos was soon approached with a chance to return to TV.
We were panicked about O'Madeline going off the air. So we were trying to come up with something quickly.
Producers Marcy Carsey and Tom Werner had left ABC after Manning.
Carsey or Carcer or whatever Warner did a ton of like 80s and 90s shows, I'm pretty sure.
Several hit comedies for the network, including Mork and Mindy, Three's Company, and Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, wow. So they go even further back than I thought. with like the with the shows they're talking about. Mork and Mindy, that's really old school. That's like 70s.
To break out on their own as independents, Carsey and Werner agreed they needed a big name for their first endeavor.
Oh, Madeline, going off the air.
And the family-focused clean comedy and themes of Cosby's.
Oh, I don't think you can, no matter how you, whatever else goes on, like you cannot, from an objective standpoint, like knock Bill Cosby much as an artist, because like his material, even into toward the end of his career was always pretty sharp and on point.
His latest material gave them inspiration. The Cosby Show was a watershed moment in American entertainment when it premiered September 20th.
Okay, so Dame Edna was Australian, but eventually made it big in England. Okay.
1984, the first sitcom to feature a black family that wasn't defined in some way by socioeconomic disadvantage. With an attorney for a mom and an OBGYN for a dad, the Huxtables were financially stable and upwardly mobile. Black artists and cultural heritage were celebrated, but in an overtly non-threatening manner. The show steered clear of acknowledging racial tensions, creating a portrait of a post-racial society, which proved to be exactly the kind of escapism primetime network audiences were craving in the 80s. By the second season, The Cosby Show reached #1 in the ratings, and would hold that spot for the rest of the decade. The unparalleled success of The Cosby...
Like, The Cosby Show was, like, legit huge. Like, huge.
Show also made it the perfect bait for Bill Cosby, and his Manhattan brownstone would become his preferred playground as Cosby's serial predation took on a whole new dimension.
Well, at least we made it 42 minutes in before we had to deal with that again.
I will now predict the exact moment in time when every single one of you will enjoy the best tasting Coca-Cola ever. It will be the very moment that you pick up this can, because inside this can is the new taste of Coca-Cola. The best.
Okay, so it started in 78. Yeah, so like late 70s. Dr. Huxtable was a gynecologist.
Tasting Coca-Cola ever. You will taste the new taste immediately, and you will like it a lot.
As things continued to come up roses for Cosby, his association with the new Coke debacle was an embarrassment he didn't need, and he withdrew as their spokesperson. But Cosby and
I mean, dude had an entire, like, range of sweaters, like that if they were even similar to what he wore, they were like a Bill Cosby sweater.
Enjoyed watching Coca-Cola flail, and delighted in slapping them around for sport as they begged him to reconsider. In short order, Bill Cosby had them on the hook by dangling the prospect of lending out his now meteoric star power to them once again. He made a proposition that promised to solve both Coca-Cola's and Columbia Pictures' problems. An action comedy spectacular.
Oh boy. Oh man. Coca-Cola needs a hit. Columbia needs a hit. Bill Cosby needs a hit. Certainly if we bring them all together, it's going to just turn out really good, right?
He'd cooked up while watching Rambo First Blood Part 2. Execs at Coca-Cola half-listened before checking out entirely as Cosby laid out a convoluted pitch. A retired CIA agent, who is somehow implied to have starred in 5 prequels, has brought out of retirement to take down a vegetarian eco-terrorist using uncooked hot dogs and melted butter while flying around on an ostrich.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
A very special human being is going to appear before you. He's a name that everybody in this world knows, Bill Cosby. And I'm sure you know that he's one of the very special...
Yeah, he was all about the Spanish fly. You got it, Deninsky. That's this entire journey that we've been on this entire time has taken us to Leonard Part 6. What an amazingly epic story.
Human beings in the world. You can't define him as a star. He just has a love affair with the people of the world.
Ed McMahon, he's like, now listen, I've got to cut this interview. I've got to get in the van and take some balloons and a check to a random old person.
Dear friend, Bill Cosby. Bill?
Thank you, Don. I'm going to be making a movie for Columbia Pictures. Columbia Pictures.
Columbia Pictures? What is it? It's another name for the Coca-Cola Company. It will release the picture. in 45 countries around the world, in countries where Bill Cosby is a major figure. And that release will be a major motion picture, a comedy that stars Bill Cosby.
Columbia Pictures and Coca-Cola. Doesn't just say Columbia Pictures. It says, and Coca-Cola. That makes me smile. I like that. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola and Columbia Pictures and Coca-Cola.
Dude, stop saying Coca-Cola like that. It's sending like, ooh, it's just sending like creepers up my spine. Like, God, dude.
Coca-Cola.
Yes, without doubt, Bill Cosby is the biggest star in America today. He's also arguably the biggest star in the entire world. That's just one of the reasons why we
Is that Tim Heidecker? Is this all a Tim and Eric skit?
at Columbia Pictures were only too pleased to accept Bill's invitation to partner with him in the making of his comedy action adventure story, Leonard Part 6.
Columbia Pictures and Coca-Cola. All right. This movie will be a success because I'm going to work my buns off to make this movie one of the funniest movies people have ever seen. Columbia Pictures will say, yay, we did it.
To do what? To sell more Coca-Cola.
Yes, you are there. And that's why we're putting you there from Jump Street.
We worked very early on with our colleagues at the Coca-Cola Company to build premium items into the movie itself. And Bill's been wonderfully gracious in helping in all the areas of this promotion.
And we're family. We're family. Bill Cosby, Coca-Cola, Columbia Pictures.
We honestly believe that this motion picture offers even more volume-building potential for Coca-Cola than we enjoyed with that great breakaway hit called Ghostbusters.
I'm going to give 189,000% of myself in this movie. Sweat, an awful lot of thinking, an awful lot of my expertise and my knowledge.
Bill Cosby and the cast and crew have put together a great motion picture, and it's going to be fantastic.
We're going to make...
I gotta say it again. This is from Hollywood Babylon's page. The way that he put this together, like I said, I know it was a long, winding road to get to this point, but like he did such a great job on this edit of like hitting you with like a ton of information, but it was all relevant. And then sometimes you didn't know why it was relevant, but like it would become relevant. I just think like these 3 videos are amazing. I think he did a fantastic job on this whole Cola Wars story.
Make this a funny movie, and one that without a doubt is funny and people want to stand in line in
Yeah, we're a family here at Coca-Cola.
Snow, in rain, and will not wait.
Do I think they deliberately tried to make I mean, that's the way that it's certainly the way it comes off. See, I don't have good synergy. I should have had a review ready to go today for Leonard Part 6. Did he knit his own sweaters? I don't think so. Do I think the bottlers ever watched those? Probably like somebody was probably assigned to watch them, like one person, and then just kind of give a gist to somebody maybe. I don't think a lot of the tapes still exist because, I mean, a lot of it's lost, but even the stuff that's around, you saw the condition that it was in.
To come see later on, or later on buy the cassettes for.
Watching the film come to life, I've seen a movie with polish, style, and real comic flair. Frankly, what's evolved is much, much more than any of us could have hoped for. There's a real universal appeal here, and with the world's favorite, most trusted funny man, we've got a movie that truly delivers.
It's so good. I can't help it. I'm really impressed with this video. I think it's just insanely well made.
Leonard 6, Columbia Pictures, and Coca-Cola. Worldwide.
Bill Cosby seems certain his
high-tech comic book character
couldn't lose, adding in an article for the St. Petersburg Times.
I put stuff in here for the women. I put stuff in here for the kids.
Oh my God, his Bill Cosby voice, it just fucking cracks me up.
Columbia trusted that the man behind the #1 show on TV couldn't be wrong, and Cosby satiated Coca-Cola with all the product placement and tie-ins they could get away with.
Joey, we're going to Ponderosa.
Here I am, just like Bill Cosby in the new movie
exhibition. Arriving, I enter cautiously. Then I see it.
Now get a Leonard Part 6 mini spy camera at Ponderosa for only 99 cents with any purchase.
All right.
Hi, Leonard.
There's a family feeling at Ponderosa.
Now bring the action home with the new Action Max game video system. See how you can win one at a Leonard Part 6 Action Max sweepstakes display where you buy Coca-Cola Classic and Sprite. When you've got Leonard Part 6,
Leonard!
Action Max, Sprite, and Coca-Cola Classic,
You can't beat the feeling.
I'll get a copy of Leonard Part 6 and do a review. I've seen it before, but it's been like, God, probably 20 years maybe or more.
Once upon a time, there was a man named Leonard Parker.
But instead of cashing in on the 1987 Christmas season, Leonard Part 6 wound up losing nearly $20 million at the box office.
You're going to have a wedding, and then maybe a week later, I'm going to have to pay for a funeral.
Bill Cosby distanced himself from the disaster he created, going so far as to hit the talk show circuit to actively advise audiences not to see it.
It wasn't a big hit, was it?
No, because they took it off about 2 days before it went out. These are called golden raspberry. When they say you win this, it goes in all the papers, and papers love to do that. They love to go on the worst thing and the worst and the worst. So they're going like, Bill Cosby, worst producer, worst writer, worst actor. I swept the award.
But Cosby couldn't quite bring himself to take any responsibility, instead placing the blame on director Paul Weiland, a first-timer who'd been hired expressly to be his yes man. Coca-Cola threw in the towel on the movie game, but landed on their feet after selling their studio to Sony Pictures for $3.4 billion in September 1989. Along the way, Columbia Pictures finally had a few blockbusters under their belt, and their experiment in public partnerships opened new avenues for production funding in the dawn of the age of private equity. While The Cosby Show and its spin-off A Different World continued to bring in material reward and widespread acclaim, in private, Bill Cosby remained livid at how Leonard Part 6 turned out. Through all his successes, the cinema was the one area of entertainment he'd yet to conquer, and nothing ate at Cosby more than being told no.
Threaten me?
Oh shit, Ghost Dad, y'all.
And I get the feeling that I've seen the last of you.
Dude, amazing series. Unfortunately, that's the last one. Maybe to be continued. I'd just like to see him cover the rest of Bill Cosby's creative output and then follow up on the court case, maybe. What a great, amazing series. I love these videos. Again, this is from Holly Weird Babylon, Cosby's Cola Wars. He also has just like a 90-minute cut that kind of cuts out a lot of the more scenic information. But I got one more thing I want to watch. I got a little bit more time. We were talking about like Bill Cosby's early comedy and like how he was he had different viewpoints on a lot of social issues than people might have expected at the time. And this is probably like one of my favorite Bill Cosby like old school comedy things. It's kind of long, but I think it's worth. It's like 20 minutes, but I understand if you don't want to watch the whole thing. The Coke had aged really poorly. Yeah, I don't, he's like, what, 84 or 85 years old now, I think. He might not even remember.
I've never, to be perfectly frank, I've never cared for old people. Most of them, I just feel that basically they take up space, a lot of space that people could use. I feel that once you've lost your intelligence or your senses, that you should give yourself up. You should
You should just go off someplace and die. They should have a place for old people. Put them off there. Because they move too slow. And sometimes you're walking and it's crowded, and usually the people who are causing the jam up are old people. They can't drive. All they want to do anyway is just sit in the sun on a park bench. I mean, I'm not in favor of killing them, but there should be some way we could get rid of them. You know what I mean? Just get rid of them nicely. No blood. Something. Just get rid of them. I've never been too tickled with kids either. Because most of them don't understand what life is about. I've lived life and I know what it's about. Young people they're always screaming for things, that they want things. They want this and they want that, and they can't even handle it. They haven't lived anything. But you find a place for them. I mean, off to the side till they grow up and then let them out. You don't have to put them, you don't have to make any blood or anything. Just put them off till they know what it's all about. Never cared for Jews either. Pain in the neck. All of them. Haven't met one yet that wouldn't walk right up to you and tell you he's a Jew. I don't want to hear that. Make no difference to me that you're a Jew. Why are you a Jew anyway? In the first place, you just want to cause trouble. Let somebody know that you're something. I don't care. They got all the money anyway. Loan sharks, all of them. Jews, no good. Brag about their holidays. Want to tell you about, well, we had a bris for this, we had a bris for that. Pain in the neck. All of them. They should get rid of them. I mean, they shouldn't, no blood or nothing like that, but just get rid of them. Them niggas is a pain in the neck, too. All of them. Blackies. Now, damn revolution, they come around, want you to call them black. I don't call them black. I call them just as I see them. Niggers. When I see one, I let them know I don't like them. I spit. Tui. Not one of them's got a job. Every one of them's on welfare, begging the country. And then demanding this, demanding that. Marching down, littering up Washington, D.C. Littering it up. I watched them on TV. I spit on the TV set. Niggers. They should get rid of them. I mean, you don't have to cause bloodshed or nothing like that, because I'm against bloodshed. But just get rid of them. Put them someplace where you can't hear them yelling and begging, because they don't have anything. And if you give them something, they just dirty it up. Don't like Irish either. Pain in the neck. Drink all the time. Never seen an Irishman yet didn't have a big red nose from drinking. And always want to be in charge of the law. Arrest you. Hit you in the head with a club. Shore and Begara. Bonk, hit you right in the head. I don't like them. And bring their damn religious beliefs over here and clutter up everything. We should get rid of them. Get rid of St. Paddy's Day, too. Who needs St. Paddy? He wasn't no cop. Send them off, you know? Just put them someplace. Get them out of the way. They're a pain in the neck. Trying to get into unions. Try to do this. Try to do that. He even had a president. Pain in the neck. I didn't vote for him because that's what he was. I saw him for what he was. Irish. And I know he's probably drunk in the White House. Drink too much.
Wow.
Them Italians, they're going tomorrow. Every one of them, them Italians. don't do nothing. In first place, I don't like the food. Second place, they're just the worst bunch of gangsters you ever want to meet. Haven't met an Italian yet. Wasn't a gangster. Wanted to run your business, get you out in the street and sell you dope. Hate them. All of them. Every place they go, always talking about their mother, how wonderful she was. Hell, if she's that wonderful, how come you're a criminal? Haven't seen an Italian born yet, wasn't born right in the jail.
Oh my God.
And you should get rid of them. All of them. Put them off someplace. No, they don't cause no blood. Just gather them up. You're Italian? Yes. Boom. Put them someplace. There's places for them. They don't have to be here. The Mexicans, we get rid of them today. They ain't worth nothing. Sneaking across the border every 5 minutes. Here they come, sneaking across the border, sneaking across the border. Can't speak English and begging for a job. Take up all the good jobs. Mexicans got all the good jobs. You see them out there. We give them good jobs in the first place because we felt sorry for them. Had them out there picking grapefruits and what do you call that stuff? Grapes. Was out there with a job. Now they're on strike. Don't want to work. Want to make something for nothing. Get rid of all of them. They ain't no good. Never have been no good. Mexicans. They tried to kill us off anyway. Tried to have a war, but we got them. Good.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right, Distinction. If you look at a lot of his earlier comedy, like it's super like experimental and edgy in its way. But yeah, the evolution of his art is really interesting.
And the Scottish people come over here, ain't worth a nickel. Cheap. Every one of them. You can't get a Scotsman to give you a penny. Can't get him to give you a half a penny without charging you interest. Walk around in funny clothes. I mean, I got nothing against them, but they're just a pain in the neck. And you can forget them Puerto Ricans. 700 of them living in one room. I don't understand them. And they're all screaming and begging. Every one of them. You can hear them all every time. Give us something, give us something, give us something. Hell, I worked for what I got. Worked hard. Started out when I was 3 years old.
Yeah, every like ethnicity is getting its own little soundtrack.
I worked hard for what I got. With these hands, I've built things, reared things, brought them up, understood what they were. Nobody taught me nothing. I look around, I see these people begging. I can see right away. As soon as I see a colored man coming to me, I know he's going to beg for something. That's why I spit when I see him. I see old people coming. I know they're going to slow things down. That's why I spit when I see them coming. I see young people. I know right away they want to smoke dope. They got long hair. I don't give them a chance. I just spit. Scottish, Irish, Jews, Puerto Rican, Mexican. What is America coming to?
Yeah, he went pretty hard, honestly, too, in that segment. That was like one of the longer, more detailed segments.
Anyway, they let the Japs in. Now, anybody with sense knows, see, the Japs, first of all, they flew in here and tried to take over. Now, we had them. where they should have been. Had them locked up with a fence around them. You know what I mean? They was in there, had the fence around them, and that's where they're supposed to be, because then if you don't lock them up, then they get in them planes again and come right back and do the same thing again. No, they turn them loose. Now they got restaurants, they're making money, making TV sets, radios. They got more money than I got. Japs. I don't let one of them work on my garden. No place. And them other people, their cousins or what, Chinese, can't use them. Now we're fighting them right now, and now's the time to collect them. They don't do nothing, they just hide every place, but there's always one someplace. I mean, you can go someplace, you can go to Albuquerque and find a Chinaman. Got his own restaurant. They got money. They don't pay taxes. I've never seen a Chinaman yet paid no taxes. And I'm not sending my clothes to none of them. Nowhere. Because I've never seen a Chinaman smile. You never see them smile. They're arrogant and they look at you like you're supposed to bring your shirt there, and that's why I don't bring it. When I see them, I just spit. Now's the time you could collect all of them, the Japs and the Chinks, and put them in the thing. I mean, you don't have to, no bloodshed or nothing like that, because I'm against it. Just put them off to the side, put the fence around it. See, you could have them all there. You could get them Irish, you could get them Italians, you could get them Mexicans, them Puerto Ricans, and the niggers, pardon me, you could get the colored and the Scottish, and put all of them in there, see? Now, I did have a friend who was of Polish extraction, but he's so damn dumb, I didn't know what to do with him. So I just told him, I said, look, you're all right, but you can't figure nothing out, and you're always wrong when you say something, so just get out, see? I mean, the Polish people have never done me no harm, but if you look at where they live, you know there's something wrong with them. Just look at it. There's squalor and dirt all around wherever they are. So I mean, I have nothing against them at all, but I just think that they need to go too. Get rid of the Polish people and put them off, you see, to a side where they can behave themselves. I've never cared for no Greeks, because that's all they do is they want to throw plates and dance, men dance together. I've never put up with that, never cared for it. All of them need to be put off someplace and make this a better land of peace. Now, as far as I'm concerned, yes, it's true. Indians was here first. But this is survival of the fittest. And the Indians wasn't fit. See? I mean, this whole life itself is a game of who has what. Now, if the Indian wanted to keep his land, he should have got a gun instead of a bow and arrow and riding bareback. See, he should have got himself a cavalry and some tanks and things. But, you see, they didn't have sense enough to do that, so they lost. Now, that's it. Indians, quit begging. And the next thing, they can't handle liquor, so they got no business being here in America anyway. If they just be quiet and just leave things alone, I could give them something every now and then. But I've never been in favor of them, no place, because they're weak people. And when you figure it out, it is survival of the fittest. If you cannot protect what's yours and I want it, if you lose to me, that's it. Indians, forget it. Need to just put them off someplace. Now, I've been to the South, and I've seen it. And it's pitiful, all of it. Haven't seen a Southerner that wasn't ignorant yet. All of them, black, white, green, red, every Southerner, ignorant, talk slow, got a drawl and do y'all this. I can't understand a thing they're saying. They don't have no heavy industry down there. I don't wear no cotton. I smoke tobacco, but that don't come from the South. And they always want to wave a flag, talking about the South shall rise again. Survival of the fittest. You lost, you'll lose again. Not rise again, you'll lose again. They need to take all them Southerners and just get rid of them, put them off someplace because they're embarrassing. When people come from other countries to visit dignitaries, we try not to show them the South because the people there are just ignorant. Everything about them's ignorant. They yell loud and drink too much. And you go across here.
Does he feel the same way? I have no idea. I don't know his take on that.
To the Midwest, and that's embarrassing. All Midwesterners, embarrassing people. Nothing but Bibles. God this, God that, Jesus this, Jesus.
Hey, when he came for the Jews, I stayed silent. And when he came for the Greeks, I said nothing. And then he came for the Midwesterners.
That's all they believe in. And ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing there in the Midwest. People don't know nothing about nothing except going to tent meetings. That's all they know about. Afraid to face reality. You say something about the Bible, they jump right up and want to hurt you or something. See, them violent people. Talk about the Bible and want to be violent. That's no way to live. They should take them, put them off someplace. I mean, don't shed no blood or nothing like that. The Easterners just as bad. Worse. Greatest sinners in the world. Got cities just jammed up, people yelling and screaming at each other. I couldn't live there. I wouldn't even never go there. Overcharge you for everything. Say, this is good, that's good. The air is bad. They got nothing but smog forever. You can't breathe. They got the niggers running half of the cities. The Italians are running half of it. The Irish running the other half, and the Polish is running the other half, and the Scottish running it, and the Irish and the Puerto Ricans is running it. Mexicans running these cities, and look at them. Squalor, dirt, and filth. That's all that's there. Go on up there in New England.
Oh, shit.
People up there just living.
Shots fired at the Thorpes and the Rubster.
The same way as when they landed at Plymouth Rock. Some of them don't even have sense enough to know how to drive. Don't have cars. Just all want to pay attention to their religion. Religious this, religious that. You got to be a man, get up and live. Now, I've got nothing against Jesus. I've got nothing against God. All I say is you shouldn't be so dependent upon him.
Yes.
I did this with my own hands. I did it myself. I didn't ask nobody for nothing, and I don't need it. You don't need, we need to get rid of women too. Now, there's all right for a while, but
finally we're getting somewhere.
Lately, I've been reading what they're saying, and I don't need them. I don't need no woman to have me washing dishes or watching the baby, things of that nature. No, indeed, not me.
No, indeed.
Now, if a woman wants to be like that, let her go on off. I don't care. I couldn't care less. I mean, if they want to prove something to me, let one of them knock me out. They can't do it. They know they're not as strong as we are. What is it that they want? Now, they
Oh my God, I'm losing it.
Was put here to have babies. That's all. Put here to have babies, wash dishes. I'll go out, make the money, and bring it in if I feel like it. But see, I did all this with my hands. Ain't a woman yet can put up a building I know that. They can't build nothing. How's a woman going to run something? How's a woman going to be president of the United States? Somebody say, we're at war, she start to cry.
True.
So they need to take them. Them that don't want to have babies, them that feel embarrassed because man wants to take them out and say, them that says that they're not pieces of flesh. No, they're not pieces of flesh. But if I want to take one out, I'm going to take her out. I buy the dinner. She didn't pay for it. I expect
Oh my, this is outrageous.
some in return. I'd give them whatever they want, but I ain't gonna give them all that. Need to put them aside. All them crazy women. Need to get rid of everybody. Clean this country up. What this country needs is a good flushing out. Flush it away from all these people, all of them, all the groups, begging, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. Say, act like the country is God or Jesus. Oh, give me this, oh, give me that. And then you look around and ain't one of them willing to work for nothing. Niggas ain't willing to work. Jews don't want to work for it. And when they do get something, they want to keep it. And them Puerto Ricans, Mexican, all of them, you can get rid of every single one of them. I couldn't care less. Now, I don't want to do these people no harm. I wouldn't do them no harm. But I know one thing. When I see them, I spit. And give a good spit, too. Because ain't none of them worth nothing. Not one single one. And that's why I'm proud to be what I am. I'm what? I'm a bigot. There ain't but two of us left. And I don't care for him.
There you go. I mean, pretty epic, pretty Kino. This used to be, I don't know if it is anymore, but it used to be part of a lot of like sociology classes. They would show this as part of like, you know, I don't know, just because it's of sociological interest, I guess. But it was like a regular part of the curriculum for a while. Probably not nowadays, though. That really makes me think. Oh man, took too big of a hit there. Oh my gosh. Well, what a show. Love the Cola Wars. Love Bill Cosby on Prejudice. That's the name of this, by the way, if you want to look it up. Old TV Time has it. Bill Cosby on Prejudice. Well, thanks for hanging out and taking a journey through a little bit of the career of Bill Cosby. I hope that Hollywood Babylon will put up a fourth installment, but I don't know how, since it doesn't tie into the Coke thing. I don't know how that'll go. You think Bill comes out of this all looking pretty good? To be fair, the charges were all dropped. I think on some kind of a technicality or something. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to go. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know for sure what I'm going to do, though, but I'll post about it on the community page. But again, thanks. I'll see you guys.